Hello everyone and welcome back to the lecture series of Learning Theory of Automata and Formal Languages. My name is Binayak Parashar. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. So this is a lecture series that we have started off with the subject that is Theory of Automata and Formal Languages, where we have discussed a lot of things regarding the finite automata, the basics of finite automata, their types, that is finite automata without output, finite automata with output. So if you consider without output, then definitely they comprises of DFA, that is deterministic finite automata, NFA, that is non-deterministic finite automata, then epsilon NFA, that is non-deterministic finite automata with empty transitions. Thereafter, we have seen finite automata with output that come across as of Murray and Mealy machines, and we have also seen the equivalence between all these machines. That means some or the other we are trying to convert one machine to another, and we are trying to find out what is the equivalence property of these machines. So all these things we have covered in the previous lectures, and this is lecture number 10, where we are going to study closure properties of finite automata. Okay, we are going to study about the closure properties of finite automata, and also we will try to look into the concept of equivalence of DFAs. Okay, so if we look into this particular topic, closure properties of finite automata, actually we are going to learn this topic in the second unit, where we will learn about the concept of regular language. In that particular topic, we will try to look into the properties of regular language. Okay, and those properties are nothing but closure properties, and one more property is there, that is known as your decision property. So in this lecture, I will try to get back to you the I will just try to show it to you. Some of the decision properties also we will try to look into this in this video, but we will not be considering in a broader sense about this particular topic, because we are going to learn property in unit number 2 about this. But I will try to negotiate. I will try to discuss with you all about this particular 2 topics. Okay. So if we talk about the topic name, that is finite automata and their properties, and that is also closure property. Why I am trying to discuss, or why I am trying to relate with a finite automata and regular language, because we have come across in the previous videos where we have tried to see about language which is known as regular language, and this language accepts what? This language is accepted by which machine? That is finite automata. So if a particular property is being accepted by regular language, then we can also say that that particular property is also accepted by finite automata. So if you study any of the property of any of the things, then it will be easy for you to justify with both the concepts. Okay. So let's go with the first topic, that is your closure property of finite automata. Now, if we talk about closure property, this particular terminology closure, what it means is that suppose I am having a set of integers. Let me show it to you. I am having a set of integers, and this set of integers comprises of, okay, it doesn't comprises of any kind of floating point numbers, right? We are considering minus infinity to infinity, and there will be having negative integers also, positive integers also. Now suppose I say a is equals to 5 and b is equals to minus 7, and if we do c is equals to a plus b, then what will be the resultant of it? It will be 5 plus minus 7, that is 5 minus 7, that is minus 2. So some way or the other, the result that we got, minus 2, also belongs to what? The set of integers. That means what we can say, that after doing this addition operation on the given set of integers, we found what? Set of integers. That means this particular set of integers are closed under the operator which is known as plus. We can say that the result which we got is also an integer. So we can say that the set of integers which is performed, or the set of integers is closed under the operator which is known as plus. Correct? So that is the meaning of closed operator. So we will try to look into this particular concept in a proper way, and let us check what are the properties we are having. One is your clean closure. One will be the clean closure, another one will be the positive closure, complement, concatenation, union, intersection, and set difference, homomorphism, inverse homomorphism. So these 3 topics we will try to look into when we will try to learn the topic of regular language. Right now we will not consider this property. Mainly we will focus on these 6 properties. Okay. let's check with the definition of it. So in the next slide, it says the definition. Definition says that closure properties on regular languages are defined as certain operations on regular language which are guaranteed to produce regular language. That means that's what I have told you, that if I do a certain operation over the set of integers and resultant I'm getting the set of integers, then I can say that yes, it is the set of integers are closed under that particular operator. So same here, we can say if we are operating on a regular language and some or the other we are getting the same language, that means regular language is closed under that operator. Okay. Next, closure refers to some operation on a language resulting in a new language that is of same type. New language that is of same type. Same that I have mentioned, that if we are considering a set of integers, I did addition operator, I got the same type of set of integers. So that means what I can say that this set of integers is closed under plus operator resulting a same type of integers. Okay, so that means we can say some or the other closure property in these two definitions. Okay, so next comes the operators that we will be looking, under which we can say that regular languages are closed. Okay, the first one is clean closure. Now, before going into this particular definition, what is the meaning of clean? We have already defined clean is determined by, represented with the help of asterisk. Okay, so if we talk asterisk asterisk value, that means it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, ... infinity. Okay, that means this is the range of asterisk, and anything to the power clean closure will give this particular result: a to the power 0, a to the power 1, a to the power 2, and so on. Okay, a to the power infinity, it's infinity only. So this is what the operator, and I have to check that whether regular language on applying this operator gives the regular language or not. So for example, let's get to the definition statement. If L1 is a regular language, its clean closure, L1 to the power clean closure, will also be a regular. Okay. Now here it's an example I have shown, L1 equals to A union B. Now if I say L1 whole to the power clean closure, it will give what? A union B whole to the power clean closure. That means whatever you will be getting over here, A will be getting what? A regular language only. So that means overall we can say that if L1 is a regular language, then its clean closure will always be a regular language. Okay. So this is what a general definition of a clean closure over the closure property. Now coming to the next operator, which is known as a positive closure. Now if you look into the definition of clean closure, if it is clean closure, then by like you can close your eyes and think of it, then it is also applicable for positive closure. Why? Clean closure range start from 0, 1, 2, ... up till infinity. If we talk about positive closure, it starts from 1, 2, 3, ... infinity. So that means only this particular part is not applicable in the case of positive closure. Only this 0. So if I resembles other things, then we can say that yes, both are same. So that means if a regular language, already I have mentioned that it is closed under clean closure, then it is also closed under what? Positive closure. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Next slide says a complement operator. Complement operator. What does generally mean by complement? Complement means if I say the value of a particular variable is 0, complement will be 1 in terms of binary numbers. Okay, so we are having 0 and 1. 0 stands for suppose false and 1 stands for say suppose true. So complement of false will be true, complement of true will be false. So that is the concept. Now if I take a particular example and let you explain, but before that let me get back to the definition and says that if language of a particular grammar is a regular language, its complement, that is L-Z, will also be a regular complement of a language and can be found by subtracting strings which are in LG from all possible strings. Now, what is the meaning of it? See, let me first take an example and let me just define you what is the exact meaning of a regular language. Complement. Suppose I have having this as a universal set. If we talk about set theory, okay, and I am having one more set as suppose a normal set. Okay, if I say a complement, then what is the meaning? That whatever element is present in the universal set apart from that. So I can say U minus A. This is what you have learned, right? So the same concept will be applicable. This is the meaning of a complement. Okay. Now I will try to relate with regular language. Okay. How to do that? Okay. Now suppose I'm having a language L1. It states even number length. Okay. And I'm having let me say, suppose if I'm having a even number language, so definitely it will comprise of 0, 2, 4, 8 and dot dot dot. These are the lengths possible in the case of even numbers, right? So if I take L1 whole to the power complement, what will be the length? It will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and so on. And this is nothing but what? A regular language only. So that means what I got? I got that a particular language after doing complement, if I get the regular language only, then regular language is closed under complement operator. Clear? Now let's go with the next operator. Let's check what is the operator. It's union. Now if you think logically, if we take a regular language, if I take another regular language and if I merge it, then definitely you will get the result as regular language only. If I merge union and suppose I merge even length and I merge odd length, both are regular language. Now there might be a confusion in your brain that how do we find out a regular language? Right now I'm telling that this is a regular language. In upcoming lecture in the second unit, we'll be learning about regular expression followed by regular language. There we will try to particularly see how to identify that a language is regular or not. So in a broader way, you have to wait at least 3 to 4 lectures. After that, you will be able to understand how to identify a language irregular or not. Right now, just check it out. And this is a language even length. This is another language odd length. Both are regular. Now, if I union this, then definitely it will comprise what? 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 up till infinity. I think I'm correct. So that means this is nothing but what? This is clean closure only. So if already we know that a regular language is closed under clean closure, definitely overall I can say that this is nothing but what? Union only. Because you did what? Union of these two things. And resultant what you got? We got a clean closure language. That means we can say that regular language is closed under, or we are not talking about regular language as such, we are talking about finite automata. Finite automata is closed under union operator. Okay. Let's come with the next concept. Now the same concept you will be able to learn in the regular language also in the unit number 2, but here we are trying to relate with the finite automata. Okay. Next concept, intersection. Intersection is also similar because if we take two languages which are already irregular, or if we say two languages which are accepted by finite automata, and if we take the commonalities of both the languages, definitely that language will also be accepted by finite automata. So that is what I am trying to mention over here. So you can take a few examples like language having this one, a to the power m, b to the power n, both are of different powers. So yes, it is a regular language. How? I will let you know in the unit number 2. Okay. Next comes language number 2 here, a to the power m, b to the power n, union b to the power n, a to the power m. So if you take a common of it or intersection of it, definitely what you will get? You will get this particular concept only. See, a to the power m, b to the power n. So that means this is already a regular language. So that means what we got? We got that for this operator intersection, we got a particular language which is also accepted by what? Finite automata. So therefore, finite automata is closed under intersection operator. Next comes concatenation. Concatenation is somewhat similar to what you learned about union of combination of both. Suppose if I say a language is determined by hello and another language L1 and L2 is determined by, say, suppose is. So if I take L1 dot L2, now concatenation is represented by dot, which will be coming in the unit number 2 operators. It will give you what? Hello is. This is the result that you will be getting. Hello is. So this is what? This is also a regular language. So, or this is the language which is accepted by finite automata. Therefore, we can finally say that finite automata is accepted by or closed under concatenation. So here also I have given one example. Language 1 I have taken as a to the power m. M is greater than 0. I have taken language 2 as a b to the power n is greater than 0. If we merge together, then I will get a to the power m, b to the power n, which are of different powers. I will let you know in the unit number 2, different powers, and different powers can be accepted by finite automata. So that is nothing but this is a language which can be accepted by whom? Finite automata. That means finite automata is closed under concatenation. Okay. So this is all about the sixth property that we are discussing. Now I have already told you that the initial these three, that is set difference, homomorphism, inverse homomorphism, we will be learning a little bit later in the second unit after doing the regular expression and regular language. But we have tried to see these 6 properties. Let's give you a brief introduction to the second property of finite automata, that is known as your decision property. What is the meaning of decision property? Decision means I am trying to take a particular result based on certain qualities that I have got from this. Suppose I say that yes, I have taken these 2 books, and I have seen that these book consist of 500 pages and this book also consists of 482 pages. But based on this, I have seen the content of this book number 1 is good. Therefore, I have decided that I will take that particular book. So this decision property will come in the case of languages also, will come in the case of automata also. So let's check it out. What are the decisions? Emptiness. What is the meaning of from these particular terminologies now, you will be able to understand what is the exact meaning of it. Emptiness. That means I am trying to find out, suppose I am giving this one a to the power m, and m and n are. Now this is a language which can be accepted by a finite automata. Okay, which is accepted by finite automata because powers are different. Regarding this, we will discuss in the next unit. I will try to remember you again and again so that you will come across with the second unit lectures also. As this is an automata accepted by automata, is there any string which is empty? Is there any string which is empty? Now suppose I give as 0 greater than equals to 0, then therefore a to the power 0, b to the power 0. So somebody other will be getting epsilon. So length will be 0. So it will say as emptiness. Correct? It is an empty. Non-emptiness, we need to check if I give only greater than 0, then it is a non-emptiness. Means I am checking that whether the language is empty or not. That's it. So I was discussing about these 2 points, emptiness and non-emptiness. I will check now finiteness. Now suppose I give an example, and the example says like this. Okay, the example says like this, that L is equals to set of all strings whose length is equals to 2. So I have said that I'm having a particular language which comprises of set of strings whose length is exactly equals to 2. We have discussed about this in unit number 1 lectures. So here that means what? It will comprises of AA, AB, BA, BB. Suppose these strings are nothing but A and B. Input strings are A and B. So definitely I will get a string particular like this, AA, AB, BA, BB. Correct? So this string we have discussed earlier also. So if you look into this particular string, whether it is a finite or infinite, it is a finite. So that's what I'm trying to check, that whether it is it comprises of finiteness property or infiniteness property. Infiniteness property means if I say length is greater than equals to 2. So that means what? It will start from 3 and it will keep on going until it becomes infinite. So that property will be infiniteness. Next I have to check that, if I have to check that whether this particular string belongs to this language or not. That means I have to check one particular property which is known as membership, that whether this AB string is a member of this language or not. Whether this AB string is a member of this language or not. So this is another property. And last, equality. Equality concept, this particular concept we will try to check in the next upcoming topic, which is known as equivalence of 2 finite automata. And there I will discuss about this equality concept. Equality means if we are getting 2 finite automatas, we are trying to find out the equality property, whether it is equivalent to each other or not. And what is that? I will try to discuss in the next topic. So next topic says equivalence of 2 DFAs. Now, there are two conditions. First condition says that two finite automata over any input alphabet are equivalent if they accept the same set of strings. And second thing, what you need to point is that one finite automaton reaches a final state on an application of that input string, and whereas the other automaton reaches non-final state. So I need to check final and non-final state. Then what is the condition? When two finite automata are not equivalent. Correct? That means I have to check two conditions. One particular condition, that if I find any kind of pair that is final, non-final, or if I find a pair non-final, final, then I have to conclude over there and say that both the automatas are not equivalent to each other. Clear? But if I say that a particular pairing concept, I got final, final, and I got non-final, non-final, then I have to conclude over that and say overall, after comparison, how the comparison will be done, I will let you know with the example. But if we get a final, final, or non-final, non-final, then keep on comparing until all the states comparisons are done, and then we can declare that both the machines are what? Equivalent to each other. That is the property of the last one, that is said to be the equality property. Clear? So this is all about the decision properties and the equivalence of DFAs. Okay. So in the upcoming classes, in the next class, we will try to look into an example of this equivalence of DFAs. Okay, and we will try to look the concept. This is the example that we'll be taking, and we will try to find out how to find a similarity between these two machines. Okay, so there we will try to find out a particular comparison table, and based on this comparison table, I will try to explain to you how these two machines are equivalent to each other. Got it? So therefore, overall, in this particular video, what we have tried to learn, we have tried to learn about the closure property. What is the meaning of closure property? Closure property describes that, but suppose I have taken a particular automata, and that automata checks which operators are there on which performing which kind of operation we get the same type of automata. So that means if we take an integer, then we did the addition operation, we get the same result. That means integer is closed under the plus operator. The same way we can say about the closure property also. So what are the properties you have seen? Clean closure, positive closure, complement, concatenation, union, and intersection. Correct? Where we have seen that all these properties, all these operators are closed, and we can define that this particular finite automata is closed under these 6 properties. But we have taken these 3 properties into consideration, and we will be doing in regular language unit. And we have also seen the other property which comprises of this emptiness, non-emptiness, then we have seen finiteness, we have seen infiniteness, we have tried to find out whether a particular string belongs to that language or not, that is known as a membership, and we have also checked equality concept also. So these are the 6 different types of decision properties that we have understood. And based on this equality concept, we have tried to check what is the meaning of equivalence of 2 finite automata, where we have to check 2 conditions. One condition is that if 2 machines accept these 2 scenarios overall, after scanning all the states, we get finite, final, or non-final, non-final, then we have to declare that the machines are equivalent to each other. And if we get a particular area after scanning where we got final, non-final, or non-final, final, then we have to stop and we have to say that the both machines are not equivalent to each other. So this is the concept about equivalent or equality of 2 machines. So in the next lecture, we will come across with another interesting video, and we will take the examples of equivalence of 2 DFAs, and we will check one more interesting topic. So thank you for watching the video.